How is your soul functioning? How strong do you feel soul-wise? How are you feeding your soul? This is the crucial question. In today's gospel, we even hear Jesus speak of his troubled soul. Often when I read this verse, I wonder if people in the pews think, well, his soul really wasn't troubled. He just wanted to say that because people needed to hear it, because after all, this was Jesus. How could his soul be troubled? But it surely was. Because above all things, I don't think Jesus played any games with people, nor games with us. To hear this verse and to get into this gospel message, you and I have to put down all the baggage we know about Jesus. All the magic healing, all the miraculous stuff, all the doctrines and stuff in church we've heard for years, because it has created Jesus for us, which really is kind of out of touch with who we are and what we're trying to do and the struggles we have. And we need to focus on verses 27 and 28, where Jesus says, "Now is my soul troubled. And what shall I say? God save me from this hour? No, it was for this purpose that I have come to this hour. God, glorify your name." And then a voice came from heaven. This was honest questioning. This wasn't a setup for people to lead them down some path. I think this was the fact that his soul is deeply troubled. He is suffering pain, and Jesus is worried about death. All of us would like to jump directly from the problems of this life to the resurrection, the loss of loved ones to the resurrection, without any Good Friday stuff, where we see this awful crucifixion. It isn't like that. Can't be like that, or the whole thing is meaningless. So could Jesus have taken another path? Could Jesus have figured out a way to just bring the finished product without all this suffering and all this other pain? Can even Jesus live with just the seeds and with God? In many modern translations, the Son of Man phrase, which Jesus uses to describe himself, is translated as the human one, meaning the completely human one, the one who understands what it means to be a human being completely, not with all the foibles and the distractions and the weaknesses that we have as being human. When we say we're only human, we don't wear that as a badge of honor, do we? Nobody ever says, well, I'm only human. You say it, well, yeah, it covers up my mistakes. I'm only human. Look what a mess I made. Well, I'm only human. Don't you understand? Well, I'm only human. But this human one, this Jesus, is a very different meaning. The complete human being, the soulful human being, the love-filled human being, the justice-bringing human being, the human being focused on healing and hope and peace because of his relationship with God. The human being who can work and act in the world and overcome doubts that will come and believe that the finished product is in God's hands. I used my friend Raymond as an example. After rehab, will he be the finished product? $26,000. I guess I'd want to be finished then. I'd want them to say, thank you for the check. You are now a complete human being. Some people believe that when they come to church. Some people believe that when they make a confession of faith. I am now the complete human being. Boy, some of those complete human beings make a big mess of things, don't they? You know them, you've seen them. They're hard to live with, too. No. That $26,000 will not make Raymond into Jesus. I pray that his soul will be strong enough after this to make him a seed planter, to give him peace with God and with himself, for that is surely what he lacks. And that voice from heaven? Jesus said it came for our sake, not for his. The people around heard the voice from heaven, and they thought maybe it was an angel or something. And he said, this isn't for me. This is for you. In his story, in his way of life, in his teaching, we hear God's voice speaking to our troubled souls. And all we have to do is choose yes or no. Is this enough for your troubled soul? Amen. Please rise now and receive the benediction. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is lovely, whatever is gracious, if there is any excellence, anything worthy of praise, think about these things. And what you have learned and received and heard, now do. And the God of peace be with us always. Amen. For each one of us here, it's your own IEP. If you are in education, you know what that means. It's an individual education plan, usually used with special ed kids. I take the risk that's saying in terms of faith, we are all of us in this room, special ed kids. We need a lot of extra work. And God promises to give it to us. But this curriculum we have to choose. We have to choose it today, and we have to choose it over and over again. I don't like the people who say, are you born again? Like it happened one time, and that's all there is to it. It can't be that way because the world is too difficult. And you and I have too many choices to make and too many things to confront. And so we choose it over and over and over again, this new birth. And we let others choose their own curriculum, the way they believe God has written it for them. And we don't compare ourselves. They make their choices. Most importantly, we have to make ours. I want to close this morning with a part of a prayer that was written by Michel Coist, who is a French Catholic priest, wrote a beautiful, wonderful prayer book. A prayer book that has a lot of questions in it about living the life with God. Not only good thoughts and good prayers, but questions too. And Coist was willing to live with those questions and struggle with those questions. And I think that's very helpful to us. This is the last part of this prayer. The name of the prayer is, Help Me to Say Yes. Son, daughter, I want more for you and for the world. This is God speaking in the prayer. Until now, you have planned your actions, but I have no need of them. You have asked for my approval. You have asked for my support. You have wanted to interest me in your work. But don't you see that you were reversing the roles? I have watched you. I have seen your goodwill, and I want more than you know now. You will no longer do your own works, but the will of your Father and Mother in heaven. Say yes, son and daughter. I need your yes as I needed Mary's yes to come to earth. For it is I who must do your work. It is I who must live in your family. It is I who must be in your neighborhood and not you. For it is my look that penetrates and not yours. My words that carry weight and not yours. My life that transforms and not yours. Give all to me. Abandon all to me. I need your yes to be united with you and to come down to earth. I need your yes to continue saving the world. And in the prayer, the response is this: O Lord, I am afraid of your demands, but who can resist you? That your kingdom may come and not mine. that your will may be done and not mine. Help me to say yes. Amen.